Actually, it is very innovative. If the U.S. owns them and the U.S. is running them, U.S. personnel will be on the ground. Obviously, that kind of ensures that they won't be targeted. It also ensures those plants will be operational, and Russia would be much more reluctant to go in there, and of course that's been a problem. They have had nuclear plants hit. Of course, the big fear is, then you talk about Ukraine. This is the land of Chernobyl. This is where the biggest nuclear accident ever occurred. So obviously, this has been a big issue. Also, they've been getting their electricity knocked out constantly. That's one thing that doesn't come on the news that much, is how often their grid system's gone down because of these hits. Turning it over to the U.S. puts a really big onus on Russia. Do you want to take on the U.S. directly? Do you want to take on something it owns? Do you want to take on something where you're going to kill U.S. personnel? That's a completely different situation than the one is now. I find it very innovative. I find it creative. It's the first time I've heard in this entire conflict something quite like that. But then again, we are hearing a little bit more transactional issues popping up, like the Minsk deal and stuff like that.
So, Al, I have to ask, the ceasefire deals that are right now operative on the table, that have in some limited capacity been either agreed to by Ukraine or agreed to by Russia, what's the nature of them? Are they the same thing or not? Or are they just theoretical right now?
I've been asking that all day. Are they really coming together with the same thing? Are they talking the same thing? Because when you listen to them, it sounds like they've just agreed to the same thing. But when you look at the fine print, like what it is they're saying they're not going to hit, that's where you suddenly see these shades of difference pop up. So I still think they have more to do to really tighten up the terminology. What exactly are we talking about? And of course, the concern is, and this is, the thing I think maybe Russia's kind of priming the pump for. Look, Russia's going to be inclined to say, no matter what happens, that somehow Ukraine violated the ceasefire agreement. And frankly, Ukraine will probably say the same thing about Russia, which will probably be true because Russia will violate the ceasefire agreement. So they really want to tighten up that terminology so it's very clear, unambiguous, what it is that each side is not supposed to hit, and for exactly how long. One of the things with some of these agreements, and this is something that's going in another part of the world with Iran, another thing is, when exactly does it start? They have to have a clear start date, a clear stop date as to when this takes place. And look to the Middle East. And, we all hope that a bigger ceasefire agreement is going to come out of this. Look, that was a big hope in the Middle East, in Gaza, and it timed out, it's over, and nothing replaced it.
Right.